Hello, everybody. It's your favorite boxing analyst reporting live from the Department of Corrections again. So, in the light of Oleksandr Usyk slaying one of his fucking rivals last Saturday and Daniel Dubois for a second time, after listening to weeks and weeks and months of excuses coming from Daniel Dubois, the English fan base, his English fan base, and all this other bullshit after he got dominated in the first fight and then dominated in the second fight and knocked out on both occasions. You know, these fuckers can't resist comparing Oleksandr Usyk to Lennox Lewis because they, he beat Tyson Fury. He'll never beat Anthony Joshua. He's too small. He beats Anthony Joshua twice. Oh, he'll never beat Tyson Fury twice. Or he'll never beat Tyson Fury. Beats Tyson Fury twice. And then they got to go above and beyond and say, oh, well, he never would have beat fucking Lennox Lewis in the light of him kicking every fucking heavyweight England has to offer. So let me just get this out of the way, because I'm tired of hearing about this fucking comparison. Oleksandr Usyk is far greater than Lennox Lewis ever was, bro. And half the people saying this shit and making this comparison weren't even around watching the fucking Lennox Lewis when he was fighting. So Usyk would have peppered and creased up fucking that glass-jawed fucking clown Lennox Lewis. Like I say, half the people making that comparison weren't even around watching boxing back then. First of all, Lennox Lewis was a big guy picking on little guys, a foot shorter than him, that he could jab to death and keep the distance away from him in order to protect that glass chin he had. You know, guys like David Two and Ray Mercer, good fighters, but they were fucking 5'10", and Lennox was fucking 6'5", so he just jab him to death and protect his fucking glass jaw. Speaking of Ray Mercer, by the way, Ray Mercer beat the shit out of Lennox Lewis and got robbed. And I'll give Lennox Lewis this. He had a great jab and he had good power, but he had bad head movement, and he barely had any footwork also. Just on that alone, Usyk's footwork and angles alone would have fucking caused Lennox Lewis fits. Okay? Just that alone would have fucking caused, throwing Lennox Lewis for a fucking loop there. The fact of the matter is, Oleksandr Usyk is just a far more durable and skilled fighter than Lennox Lewis ever was, in every facet. Oleksandr Usyk was a better fighter than Lennox Lewis in every facet, minus the punching power. Oleksandr Usyk wasn't getting chinned by B-level guys like crackhead Oliver McCall and fucking B-level Hasim Rahman. Fucking Lennox Lewis fought a shop-worn version of Evander Holyfield and Mike Tyson, which he gets far too much credit for. He gets way too much credit for that Evander Holyfield win and that Mike Tyson win. And yes, I know they were roughly the same age, but Holyfield in specific, and to a lesser degree Mike Tyson, had way more tread on the tires than Lennox Lewis did at that point in their respective careers. Like I always tell you guys, it's not the age, it's the mileage. And the fact of the matter is that Evander Holyfield and Mike Tyson had far more mileage on the odometer than Lennox Lewis had at that point in their respective careers. Like I said, Usyk would have fucking mentally broke down Lennox Lewis for a few rounds, then he would have got around his jab, and because Lennox couldn't take a punch, he would have got laid out flat and dropped like a fucking bad habit, bro. All right? Lennox was overrated in the 90s and early 2000s, and he's still overrated. He has a good resume, I'll give him that, but there's a lot of smoke and mirrors with Lennox Lewis's resume, similar to Canelo Alvarez and Floyd Mayweather. And he also got smashed up by Vitaly Klitschko and then cowardly ducked the rematch instead of granting Vitaly a rematch that he deserved when he was getting his ass kicked and it got stopped on a fucking cut. He retired. Vitaly Klitschko beat the shit out of Lennox Lewis into retirement, and he was too much of a fucking pussy to give him a rematch. And Vitaly Klitschko was no Oleksandr Usyk. Well, Vitaly Klitschko was a great fighter in his own right, but he wasn't no Oleksandr Usyk either. So this brings me back to the point. If he's getting creased and crunched up by Vitaly Klitschko, Usyk is going to box his fucking ears off and leave him flat like a fucking doormat. If you compared Usyk to fucking Big George or Ali or Marciano or even a fucking young Mike Tyson, I respect that, Larry Holmes, but Lennox, get the fuck out of here. And this is another thing I can't stand. I can't stand when boxing fans overrate these guys from past eras. And no matter what the dude does in the present, in this case Oleksandr Usyk, they can never surpass them. No matter what they do in the present, they can never pass up these guys from the past. It's fucking ridiculous. They just can't surpass him. No matter what they do, who they fight, what they achieve, they can never pass Lennox Lewis. Get the fuck out of here. Oleksandr Usyk was far greater than Lennox Lewis ever was. They do the same thing with Usyk and Holyfield at cruiserweight. Usyk was a way better cruiserweight than Holyfield. You dudes are smoking crack. The only dude that fucking Holyfield fought at cruiserweight was Dwight Muhammad Qaid, bro. Okay, and Dwight Muhammad Qaid was a 5'6" midget. Get the fuck out of here with that one. That's another bad comparison. Usyk's clearly the best cruiserweight in the history of the sport. And I love Holyfield. Holyfield's my favorite heavyweight of all time. I'm not putting him down in any way, shape, or form. But I hate when these guys put these, compare the guys from the present to the past, and no matter what they do, no matter what they achieve, they can never go past them. They used to do that with fucking Manny Pacquiao and Henry Armstrong. That was another one that fucking drove me nuts. Manny Pacquiao would have beat the fuck out of Henry Armstrong and knocked him out in a handful of rounds. Somebody that stares at their fucking feet all day isn't beating Manny Pacquiao. You fucking fake-ass historians are on crack. Oleksandr Usyk would have beat the fuck out of Lennox Lewis, and Manny Pacquiao would have beat the fuck out of Henry Armstrong. Get the fuck out of here with your fake-ass historian, no film fucking... Your granddad wasn't even around to see this shit. Get the fuck out of here. We're not trying to hear that shit. Pacquiao beats the fuck out of Armstrong. Usyk beats the fuck out of Lennox. It's that simple. He embarrasses and chins the bum Lennox, and he would have beat Lennox at any point of his career in any arena around the world. I don't want to hear, well, this version of him and this version. No. Usyk would have fucking beat the shit out of any version of Lennox Lewis you have to offer. It's that simple. I'm tired of hearing this fucking comparison. Lennox is one of the most overrated fighters in the history of the sport, and he's probably the most overrated heavyweight of all time. This ain't fucking Hasim Rahman. This ain't fucking Oliver McCall. Usyk would have chinned that fucking cunt in a handful of rounds and laid him out flat like a fucking doormat. And then Lennox, and to me, to add insult to injury, Lennox Lewis picked Daniel Dubois to beat Usyk this weekend, which I find fucking hilarious. Well, if Daniel comes with his A game and Usyk ages a little bit, perhaps Daniel can pull off the fucking necessary to get it done and blah, 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 blah. Go fuck yourself with your predictions. You're a horrible fucking commentator, Lennox. And you make some bad fucking fight predictions from time to time also. This weekend being no exception. Usyk would have chinned your fucking ass and laid you out flat like a doormat. It's that simple. Salute to Oleksandr Usyk, one of the greatest of all time. Lennox, you would have got fucking flat. Get the fuck out of here. Hit the like button and subscribe, and I'm out of here. Done.